team damage going on right now. But where do you even choose to start on Anubis these days? Because this all kind of feels like it's up in the air, right? It did start off as a very T-leaning map, but as time's gone on, more and more teams have been happier to start their campaign on the CT side.
Yeah, I think, honestly, at this point, T-side is still the absolute favourite. However, there have been a lot more strategies that at least I've seen recently that make it... Make that CT side a little bit more viable, a little bit more extra things you can do, and some like nice long-range smokes you can throw in from B and A to block off positions in canals, which let you get a bit more aggressive control outside A rather than just on the inside of the site. So, yeah, interested to see if we see any of that today, but we're about to get underway, and the pistol round will be, firstly, taken up by Rush B. So I lied about the sides, of course, because they hadn't done the knife round yet. And we're going to be dropping down into Canal to take the B bomb site for sAw.
Well, Rush B is the play. It's just coming through from sAw. So you weren't completely off the mark, as we do see them gaining some control. Bomb is going to shift its way through here as well. All the utility in the round has been dumped by the flash here on Kinky. Arasdocha behind the pack. He gets so much information. Seeing two players in mid. Doesn't actually have to force these fights, but he will anyway. Kills coming through for sAw right now. No bomb plant. What on earth is going on? They've decided to pivot. They're heading A.
They're going all the way through the CT as well, by the looks of it. They've forced Kinky back down to the beach. And Ujux has managed to make his way through with the bomb, so somehow they've managed to circumvent their way through there. Not a bit of an unusual one, but Arasdosh will take Texi down. The Sweet Rice already having a great start. 2 kills on the board for him. Kinky, though, ooh, if he got that second, there would have been a glimmer of hope in this round because he had the kit as well. Now it's just Nota, and he's been spotted out by Ujux. It's going to be very, very hard for him to do much here, and saving his Kevlar might be the order of the day.
Yeah, unfortunately, not even going to be like it's a full health Kevlar and just spends the extra 350 to get head armor, but he's not going to be saving anything. Arasdocha with the triple kill, he was the one to make his mark in towards middle. Bit of a, I guess, relatively speaking, a late lurk as his teammates had already got themselves into the sites and he was just trailing a bit behind them, catching off those two players rotating through the canals. Just threw a spanner in the works for Rush B. I don't know how sAw didn't plant the bomb in and amongst all of that chaos, though, on the B site. I don't know what happened there. Still worked out for them, though.
It did. You would have thought at that point they would have been able to take it, but they managed to escape and plant it elsewhere. No worries in the end. And on a map like this for sAw, you do worry if Rush B don't win a force buy like this. I'd say it's a force buy. It's actually more of a half buy. It's not a full investment at all here for Rush B. They're sort of buying up the pistols, but keeping a bit in reserve to make sure they have the utility they want on the gun round. I don't mind that. Sometimes you see CT sides fully investing and then obviously having to commit to the full eco after that, and then their gun round doesn't have all the utility they want, so...
I think this is a happy medium, but I'm just not entirely sure what the investment is going to look like next round.
Probably more of the same.
What they're going to get, $2,900 once they lose this round? $2,400. I don't know, man. Either way.
Yeah.
More of the same, as you say, means that they're going to have to wait for that 4th round before they can get an investment. And that's why we see most teams just full saving in the 2nd round here, right? So they can just get the M4s in the 3rd round. Guess Rush B realize as well as the underdogs here, Trav, that they have to get themselves, you know, full sets of weaponry. Maybe they want the double orb setup. That's why they're playing the long game here.
Yeah, of course. It's what one you see often. It's like, as I said, it is kind of like the 3rd option that you kind of see, the rarer one. It's either a full investment, a full eco to get M4s, at least a tiny bit of util in the immediate 3rd round. This is the one you don't see as much of. But they're going to save the 5.7 and the Deagle. Problem is, of course, with that, it means it leaves sAw to build up their own money significantly.
Yeah, that's a really good injection of cash into the bank accounts of sAw with all 5 of their players staying alive. And you look at the money here for Rush B, certainly not enough for them to go for an investment here, right? Just getting that injection of cash. Enough for some upgraded pistols once again. I don't know, Trav. Are you a fan of this approach? Is this what you would call...
It's weird, isn't it? It is like, what did I say? It's like a carbon copy. Just 2 kind of same old pistol buys in a row. I feel like it obviously gives you less of a chance to actually win those rounds. Does it average out overall by the fact you get 2 of them? I'm not too sure, to be honest. But, yeah, obviously it's something that they like to do.
Well, I am glad to see that they're doing something out of the ordinary here. 4 players leaning in towards the A side, 2 players aggressive, so if they do get run over, then maybe sAw think the rest of the site is cleared, so they rush through a little bit carelessly. There is going to be a flash over the top. That's a nice play. Arizdoche, though blinded, will still be able to round the corner, keep his life intact, and now he can reap the rewards of his good movement. Despite his lack of vision, he's able to see clearly. At the end of the day, he gets a good triple kill.
Yes, that's only early on in the game, but it's crazy that Arizdoche has kind of done all the work so far. He's 8-0. Only MUTiRiS and Roman. Now Roman will double up, but yeah, and what was great to see as well from Roman in those major qualifiers in the RMR. Nice shot, executor. It's AK, he's going to get a rude awakening though, and the story will remove it. But yeah, it was great to see the old wise heads of Roman and MUTiRiS, in particular, doing so great in those 3 games that I mentioned in a row that they won. That 78-25 streak, destroying NIP and Fnatic in 2 of those 3 games. And yeah, it's that experience which we've seen in RMRs in the past for so many years, and we're thinking, okay, one day they're going to make one because they just have so much knowledge of the game over all these years. MUTiRiS, I think, has been playing since 1.6, so yeah, and only now he makes his first major. It's just it's a great story.
Well, I'm so glad that they did, because it could have been one of those stories where it's just a tragedy where they never actually get that opportunity, despite the fact that they've come so close a number of times. KIRO comes incredibly close to finding an opening kill there. Not going to connect on the shot, though. First full gun round in effect. Rush B, they've got the weapons in play here, but control's already been taken by the T side. Kinky looking to try and regain a bit of information, but he just catches a bullet to the brain.
Our opening. Jerks, I mentioned he was one of the most impressive in those 3 games in the pre-match of this one. And he'll get off the mark now. He had nothing to do in the first couple of rounds. Still 0 deaths for him too. Texi will drop down. I mentioned he's, of course, one of the 2 youngsters on this roster. They've got 19 and 2 16-year-olds. Nice shot from KIRO. That will mean that the reign of the Sweet Rice will now finally go down. His first death of the game after 8 kills. But Story will answer back straight away. And his impact on the AWP has been superb lately as well. Full control of mid, they can choose to go either way.
This is still really awkward for Rush B though, because each of the players were kind of committed to a single part of the map without any support. However, the AWP has been able to lock it down over on the A bomb site. Another kill will level the numbers back into even keel. Bomb plant going to come through for sAw. 3 versus 3. There is a kit in play and some utility for the retake, but if Rush B lose this, it sets them back, or sets them on the back foot in the half.
Indeed it does. Executor can maybe peek below the crosshair placement of Story, but that's just way too fast. Beautifully done.
Sad.
And that is that. Noto unfortunately makes some noise dropping down off the stairs as well, so Roman knows exactly where he's running to save. Can Noto hold this line and at least keep this M4 alive into the next round? Roman is running, and there we go. Didn't see him in front of the sand on the beach there. Quite a nice saving position. They will manage to keep the AWP and the M4 alive, so that is something.
Yeah, at least, right? Can drop a gun, can Noto, KIRO can too, so we'll probably see a decent arsenal of weaponry coming through for Rush B in the next round. But this is where you start to see the effects of MR12 coming through, right? It's been a discussion as of late after the conclusion of the European RMR at least. And people are kind of saying, man, the half just gets out of control so quickly. You lose control of the economy, you get an AWP maybe 1 or 2 times throughout the half. Not enough time to counter your opponents and really build an effective strategy to deal with whatever's going wrong. And that's exactly what Rush B are going to be faced with right now if they can't get on the board soon enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, at least the 2-man save with the loss bonus they have now means they can fully invest again. It's only Executor on MP9 is the only really fallback, and we all know how good those MP9s can be. MUTiRiS. Canal. 2 players on the other side. I'm not sure if he knew that was 2, but through the smoke. Texi already will drop. That's on the outskirts of A there. Arizdoche is the sort of A defaulter on the T side. Already up to 9, as I mentioned before. more than all of his teammates combined still. If that continues toward the later period of this game, that'll be kind of ridiculous. And it's a bit of a lean over toward A as well for the CT side, so I think they're in for a rude awakening on B.
Yeah, especially if sAw do commit to this direction, which looks like it's going to be the case. All 5 players shifting across here. Rush B have decided to go for a gamble. I don't really mind this decision. We know how difficult the CT side of Overpass is, and they've lost the first pick, so they kind of have to just roll the dice, stack up with majority of their players on one bottom side, hope for the best. If sAw don't end up coming in that direction, you can just save your guns, right, and carry them through. They'll still have a decent amount of weapons to work with in the next round. They just forfeit the point. But that's the problem with losing the first pick so early in the round, and that's all sAw needed, really. 1 kill, force the rotations, open bomb site, free round, really.
Yeah, and I am actually surprised that they chose to stack A rather than stack B, to be honest. I feel like it's a lot more of a common feel to go B late round than A, especially early game. A kind of seems to be the site on this map which you go to if other things aren't necessarily working for you later on. At least how patterns have felt in other matches I've watched, but in this one, Rush B gamble, and sadly, it's a gamble which means they have to save again. Of course, it's not a bad thing necessarily. As you say, it's actually kind of nice to be able to have a full purchase and another one, even if they lose this next round as well, considering the cash they have left over from that save and keeping everything they have. But of course, it just lets sAw build up even more.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good and well saving guns, having money in the bank, but not having any points on the board. That's going to be a problem. So you're going to have to start to make something happen here on the CT side, and it does look like they're going to try and get aggressive. Kinky, there we go through the window. Going to be catching swords. They look to try and get towards A main. No, no. It was looking really good there for Rush B. I like the initiative coming through from them, but U-Jerks trades immediately and then goes one step further with a second kill.
I mentioned about how that A aggression can sometimes be something that a CT side can throw in, and now they've got that little bit of residual cash in the bank. They're going to try and take a risk to try and get this first round on the board finally. Unfortunately, while Kinky, the veteran of the team, may get his one, his young mate, half his age, Nota, only get one in return, but sort of peek 1 by 1 into that cave area. And that main play in Roman coming in late, couldn't get anything done. So it is actually going to work out long term. Picking 1 by 1 in cave, as I said there, has not worked out for sAw. And it leaves Story in a clutch. And he switched to the M4. They haven't heard him switch to that M4, I believe, in cave. So, or in canal, sorry. So as he creeps up to cave, we'll have to see what he can do with this.
I mean, he has got the bomb on his back, and he's had some time on his side as well. He's just hoping he can sow the seed of doubt with the longer that he takes, that they might start to consider that he's headed in towards A. But Texi, very passive on that side of the map. KIRO, what's the timing like? He's still there, misses a shot though. Story gets baited into the AWP, and KIRO doesn't need the supporting act of Executor to come through there. It is going to be the round that goes the way of Rush B, as you say, just punishing a bit of the overzealousness there. I think sAw getting ahead of themselves, riding the momentum from the first 5 rounds that they won. They do get punished though, and lose this next round. They start to trip up on their economy a bit as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a lack of synergy in those peaks. The one from main and then the players coming through canal. A very, very small lack of synergy. It was only about a second, but that second can make all the difference. Game of fractions. A quick tactical timeout used by Rush B as well. And I like using it once you've won your first round. Pretty nice timing to just take a chill and say, okay, what did we do that was right?
Yeah, as for sAw, I mean, it probably serves as a good reminder just to slow things down. See, this is where they'll have the major in the back of their minds, Trav, where they're making sure that they build or continue to develop their protocols, their responses, their discipline. It's not like they can take the foot off the pedal here, because that's when you develop bad habits, right? So, yeah, I want to see sAw being clinical in this type of a match.
They are being clinical on Anubis and have been very clinical on Anubis as well. It's actually, you know, I mentioned that, of course, this is a strength of sAw. I still believe that. Of course, toward the end of last year, though, this is the map that Rush B picked, I think, 3 times in ESE Advanced to help them qualify for ECL this season. It won all 3 of those recent games. And, of course, the last game that SAW played on it in the RMR was a 13-1 loss to 9 Pandas. So, you know, they are fallible. That's a nice double pick toward B main. That gives Executor no chance to even react with the 1. Now, Nota needs to stay alive for as long as possible here. He does a fantastic job of staying alive, like I said, and getting 1 more. So it keeps it in a 3 versus 3 and makes it doable here for Rush B on the retake as the bomb goes down.
I mean, yes, it is a situation you'd consider retaking, but looking at their money, you know, teams would often pull the plug in this sort of a situation. I want to see them go for it, though. They've got some utility. They've got a kit as well. All 3 players sort of can work together. 2 from CT, 1 coming through from Connector. Going to set themselves up the retake. Smoking towards B main. That's only going to isolate 1 player. Still 2 players on the side here for sAw. And they're going to step out of the back of the flash. I love the initiative coming through there from sAw. Not just sitting back idly waiting in the post plant, but forcing the issue. Rush B running out of time. They have still got 2 kits between them. A smoke on the bomb as well. Sticking the defuse. It's not going to happen.
It did happen! Oh!
It does happen.
I can't believe it. I was totally on board with you there. I was like, okay, they've got a Glock from one angle and they've got a rifle from the other. There's no way this defuse comes through. I watched the little line at the top of the screen going lower and lower and lower, and I was like,
too.
Okay, it did happen.
And then it just stopped. Well, I mean, the health line was also, the health bar was going lower and lower as well. And then it just stopped depleting all of a sudden, and the round was won. Alright, well, there we go. You were talking about rounds that Rush B need to go their way, right? They need a reprieve every now and again, and they've just received one.
Wow. Didn't see that happening. So low, that 1 bullet was all that sAw needed, and they couldn't connect it. Insane. Of course, that's a round that Rush B have won with nobody surviving, so that will impact their economy long term, and that's going to be a freebie for Story. Dropping down Canal early, taking Nota from B. That gives them an advantage to work with now to try and settle the ship slightly, which is weird to say considering it's 5-2 and they've been pretty dominant.
Yeah.
But after a round like that, you kind of need to.
I think the round before that as well, right, was a bit sporadic, so I think settling the ship is a good description as to what needs to happen here. For sAw, that smoke is going to fade and Kinky's going to become exposed. MUTiRiS, is he going to be quicker on the trigger? Absolutely. Trade has to come through, and it does. Not as clean as Dotcher would have liked, but he still does accomplish the desired task. On the task he set out to achieve, should I say. Executor and KIRO, the 2 players left remaining, and they want nothing more to do with this round. So sAw do get themselves back to winning ways, Trav. And it feels like this was a really important round for them to win as well, just to maintain their dominant stance here in the game, right? Because if they lose this one, 5-3, maybe an eco round for the T side at that point, 5-4, and all that hard work at the start of the map starts to slip away.
Oh, KIRO's in trouble now, though. Does he expect Story in T-spawn? Definitely not. Now Executor has to try and do his best to stay alive. Nice switch to the AWP behind him, but he's missed the close range shot. Good reaction to at least keep himself with this AWP. And now, although he's being hunted, he could be hunted a bit too hard here. Needs to be ready for this. Nice shot on Dosh. Will you just run him down too? No. He'll just take that second AWP that was switched over. That's at least something.
You take that. 3 kills there, Trav. 3 exit frags.
Indeed.
That's done damage to sAw's economy. If Rush B can win this round coming through here, I mean, they're going to invest everything, I reckon. This is high risk, high reward, right? You know you win this next round, you reset that T-side economy. They only get $1,400 if they lose. Do sAw. I think that's going to be enough for Rush B to go for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the easiest position now for sAw because of that. It sounds weird again, 6-2, but we know that Rush B are very well versed on this map from Advanced last season, and of course you know how T-sided this map can be. So if sAw give up even 3 or 4 rounds on CT, it's still incredibly durable for Rush B.
What do you think the baseline is? Bare minimum. Did you say 4?
These days, I feel like 3 could even be done, especially with the pistol, because it could be 9-6. It could be 9-6 in a blink of an eye.
Like, whether you're the underdog, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Rush
I
B.
guess
I think, you know,
4.
technically speaking, on paper, I can get on board with that. But in this particular game, Rush B need at least, I don't think 6-6. Anything less is game over.
Fair enough. Yeah,
I mean, I know that they're going to the T side after this, which is a slightly more favorable side, but
yeah,
I don't think it's going to get any easier for them playing against sAw, no matter what half they're on.
yeah, it is an uphill struggle, whatever side you're on, I would reckon. Texi's kind of lucky to stay alive in that early round little encounter there with Arizdoch, because he was on the line. Texi was looking to play aggressive off the back of that flash, but then he got flashed himself, so didn't peek any further. But there it goes. The Sweet Rice, and KIRO will take that one. Kinky will take Hugh Jerks. That's a lovely 5v3 for Rush B to work with.
Yeah, everything falling into place for them. Roman is going to apply some pressure over towards the B side. Look at what that's done to the minimap. It's actually drawn quite a few rotations over towards B. Only one player hard committed to A, and Kinky's going to head back in that direction, but this is still certainly doable for sAw. If they trade even 2 for 1 here, that would still keep them in it, despite the fact they're down numerically. That bomb plant would certainly give them something to work with. Texi's going to get baited in here by Kinky, I reckon. Story on the orb, though. Still falls off the ledge. He connects on the shot. This is where Texi has to do work. He is able to find 1 kill, but he will be traded out.
Yeah, a lot of damage done to MUTiRiS, though. Roman's holding some rotations in mid, so MUTiRiS will be allowed to get the bomb planted with a very low time left on the clock, and that's a lovely shot. This gives him a glimmer of hope now. MUTiRiS' health might not matter if he plays super aggressively. KIRO might not be expecting this, but he just switches around in time. Obviously, they were so focused on Roman, that's probably why MUTiRiS pushed up. But now it's a 1 versus 1. Executor has a defuse kit, and he's defusing behind the dice. I don't think he's going to be peaked, but he does get peaked just in time from Roman. That's a bit of just reward, I guess, from the mistake they made against the smoke defuse in that one of those previous rounds. Nicely played from Roman. Beautiful mid lurk.
Not a fan of sticking the defuse there, to be completely honest with you, Trav. I thought he was behind the dice as well, or behind the, you know, the cylinder. That would have made a lot more sense.
The cake.
But he was just gambling. The cake, that's it. He was just gambling, right? He was just gambling that he could have his cake and eat it. But not today, says Roman.
Yeah, beautiful from Roman. And brilliantly consistent he's been as well in recent times, especially to Aramar that I mentioned. He's one of the long-term players too alongside MUTiRiS. He's 31 himself, mentioning Kinky's age, but Roman's 31, deserves to have his praises sung. Now this is a faster mid-play for sAw. Some early round aggression. KIRO won't be blinded by that flash whatsoever. I believe he had burst fire on the FAMAS there. That was
sounded like it.
One of the only burst fire FAMAS kills I may have ever casted in my 5-year career. But he pushes up for more. He manages to take Arizdoch. Story's got his P250 out and can only get 1. So super aggression from actually both teams there. Works out in Rush B's 3rd round.
Well, there's that 3rd round you were speaking of. That was your baseline bare minimum. They've been able to check that one off the list, but you know what? Should be able to get 4 for free here, Trav. Look at the money over in the sAw camp. And they only get $1,900 if they lose this, or when they lose this, should I say. So the likes of Arizdoch, U-Jerks as well, they're not going to have much to work with going into the last round of the half.
Indeed. That's not a great
They want to spend their money, man. They want to go all in. They're gonna. It makes sense.
It does. It does. And this is what gives Rush B a superb opportunity to maybe even make it 5. And it could have been very different, of course. If sAw had won that round against the smoke diffuse, it could have been 8-2 at this point, and we'd have been saying it's way more dominant. Their economy probably would have been a little bit better. But that's shoulda, coulda, woulda, and for an alternate universe.
Well, let's see what sAw are going to do here. Maybe just channel the namesake of their opponents, right?
Could do. With the weaponry they have, the Tech 9 and the Mac 10 leads to speedy, strafey plays.
And that speedy strafey play is going to be in towards mid right now. Utility to force Kinky backwards. He's happy to backpedal all the way in towards the back of mid. Utility continues to force him further backwards. You can see this is just a dry run from spawn from sAw right now. All the utility falling into place. The Molly at cameras keeps him at bay for not for much longer. Kinky though, good decision making from him. He's gotten into a strong position. The only problem here for Rush B is if sAw decide to pivot through connector in towards B, and it looks like they might do exactly that.
Oh, Nota's in a really good position for this, and he mows down 3. That's a lovely hold. Massive off angle. I say off angle, it's actually quite a tight angle, but it's just one you never expect. And KIRO will then peek to help out against Story. Looks like Rush B might be able to take this round, all 5 alive. And you don't want to just be saving a deagle with $100 in your bank if you're Mr. Sweet Rice. He'll be looking to try and die and take the loss bonus for sure. But unfortunately, he's nowhere near the C4.
Yeah, this is just about maybe some highlight frags, something for the videographer to add to that reel at the end of the game. sAw gonna have to force buy again after this with only having gotten $1,900, and it's not gonna look good. It's certainly gonna look a lot worse than what it did in the previous round. 5-7 is the writing on the wall right now. Rush B, they're keeping themselves in a trap. They're doing themselves justice right now, having picked Anubis coming into the series.
Absolutely. Mentioned, of course, the youngsters on the team too. Nota is one of them. Just 16. And he put himself in a veteran's position there. I mentioned he was one to keep an eye on, not just for the future, but for the present. And that was a hugely impactful round from him. And now he's put in a tougher position on B as the main defender. He's got executor support, of course, but he's the one who's going to be peeking first. He does a lot of damage, but actually he only gets that 1 kill. And MUTiRiS gets a lovely kill, and U-Jerks close range with the Tech 9.
No.
Unfortunately, he's out of bullets now, and he needs more, and he won't get any. Texi managed to deal with Story. It's madness in and around the smokes on B. And now Dosh needs to try and do something. He almost catches Kinky, and now he digs up Texi as well. This is now a bit dangerous, but KIRO puts an end to it. And that will be where the half ends. 7-5 for sAw. We'll see you after a quick break. pretty decent half in the end for Rush B there, Hayes. I think they'll be delighted with 5.
Yeah, Trav, you're right. I mean, it's been a great turnaround. You consider the fact that they were staring down the barrel of 5-0 at one point, and they end up bringing it back to 7-5, winning 5 of the next 7. Can they kick off the second half with a pistol round win, though?
Let's see. Let us see. It's going to be Roman, number 12, of course, because those numbers are a little bit goofy. Now we've got coach slots able to be used in ECL, and he's trying to fight his way and tap his way through those smokes. Ujix has been forced away, tries to play that headshot angle in the canal there, which is a lovely angle normally in a sort of a TD fall, but absolutely destroyed by KIRO and Executor. And look at this little setup here. Roman's still here, being the main point of defense earlier on. Now everyone is going to be fighting back and forth. Roman trying to tap away, but only 1 kill for him. Kinky gets 1 more, and the last as well. Damn, Rush B are very much in this game, and arguably, in any normal game I'd say about Anubis, I'd say they'd be the favourites now, but they are still the name value underdogs. Let's see if they can pull it through.
Well, they certainly have the momentum behind them right now, winning 6 out of the past 8 rounds. As long as they can shut down Aristotle, then they're right as rain. The only other player who's putting up a bit of resistance is Roman, but Rush B, they're getting the ball rolling right now. 1 round between these 2 teams, and it should be, well, the easiest of the lot that they've played so far coming into the 14th. It's USPs across the board.
Yeah, we saw Rush B strategy of sort of half buying twice in a row rather than doing one or the other, as in Force or Eco. Saw choosing the full Eco option to get the M4s in the 3rd as soon as possible. And that can sometimes be a good strategy because often you are still up against Mac 10s and the like, but in this instance, Dink there could do some damage to Kinky. He did manage to take him down, so well done. KIRO will get 3, all 3 of the last, I should say. Yeah, in this instance, there are no SMGs at all on Rush B. It was only rifles. I believe 3 or 4 Galils in that previous round. So let's see what they do against this full purchase now. More utility purchased up by Aristotle. He's bought up the FAMAS to afford that. But it's not going to be easy. Let's see if Rush B can go straight ahead and take the lead.
Yeah, for the first time on the map as well that they'd be getting their noses in front, so it's a really big opportunity here for the Russian team. Let's see if they can make it happen. What's the plan going to be? Nothing untoward at the start of the round. No AWP on the server either. Means you can take a bit more liberty, right?
Yeah.
There's a bit more room for error, I would say, without an AWP to punish you for your overstep or your overpeak. And Kinky, well, he's looking for a fight right now, and he's going to find exactly that, Trav. He might find it more than he can chew. No! Just snaps the head straight off of Aristotle. That was the full belt of utility that he's just removed as well. I don't know how many pieces he still had to his name, but he was certainly holding a grenade.
That actually makes such a huge difference as well, because he was the man tasked with the jiggle. Thankfully for sAw and for Story, he peeks Kinky while he's preparing his utility and gets a free kill back in response. But Ujux isn't aware of a second player in Canal. However, there's a long-range peek.
Way.
Story, how on earth have you not taken KIRO there? The trades are going back and forth, and somehow it's a 2v2 from all that. Nota peeks from the mid-balcony window. And Texi is trying to fall away as quickly as possible because the A-bomb site's open. And they're kind of betwixt in between right now. Ujux is splitting them all up. Let's see what he can do with this.
Man.
Oh! Nice
Great
frag from
crosshair
Nota.
placement there. Yeah, really good kill coming through from him. It's left up to Roman in the 1 versus 2. He does not have a kit either. No further utility. I mean, next to no chance, really. It's going to be so tough for him to root out both of these kills and find enough time for the defuse. I mean, they'll really have to cock this one up. All Rush B. Roman has baited out both of the peaks, but he's only going to be able to get the 1 kill. And with that, Rush B, they've got themselves the lead, and they've set sAw on the back foot economically.
Now then. There was a part of me before this game got underway when we were asked for our predictions. I wanted to pick Rush B. I really did. I really had a feeling that online Counter-Strike, a little bit of a hangover from the RMR for sAw, all the celebrations. Are they going to be fully into this game? I'm not saying that I thought Rush B were going to win the entire series yet, but at least for map 1, I have a little feeling, and they're nowhere near there yet, but they're probably going to get a 9-7 lead unless something crazy happens. So, good work from Rush B. And it was all down to that U-Jerk's kill. Whether he got that frag coming in from camera or not, he didn't. We could have at least a map 1 upset on our hands.
I mean, I'm all for it. Then we go to Vertigo with Rush B leading the series and sAw having to level things up to take us to a decider, which would of course be Nuke. Great map for sAw, that's for sure. They're best on paper. So I guess they have that in his insurance policy.
Yeah, and of course I mentioned in the pre-game as well that in sAw's last 7 matches against Russian teams, they've lost 6 of them. So maybe it's a stylistic thing that they struggle with, who knows? I'm not sure if there are any styles that are shared necessarily with Rush B and the likes of 9 Pandas, for example, but still, it's a slightly strange pattern for sAw.
Yeah, see if they can figure out a way to get this game back on track. They've lost, what, 8 out of 10 rounds. Not a good look since their strong 5-0 start. Have got some upgraded pistols, so Rush B do need to tread lightly, but they will find the kills to just seal the deal. First couple excursions or gunfights breaking out, pretty much all going Rush B's way. Notes has been good. Notes has been really impressive. I mean, KIRO's certainly the pick of the bunch, but Notes impressed me a lot as well. First time getting a look at him, and I like what I see.
Yeah, KIRO, of course. I mean, he's only 21 himself. It is a very young team apart from Kinky. KIRO, of course, the AWPer. Executor, 19. The other 2, both 16 years of age. With Kinky, of course, the experienced ex-Dream Eaters Hard Legion IGL. Long time since those names were in CS. But he's been around for a long time himself. Terrifying to think that these 16-year-olds are probably born in like 2007 or 2008 or something. Goodness me.
Can't be. Not possible, Trav.
No, because clearly anyone who's...
Born after 2000 just doesn't count, to be honest with you.
Exactly, exactly. If you were, you know, if you're 20 and you're born after... Yeah, it's just wrong. Can't be allowed.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the talk of the town, Mr. Donk, 17 years old now, taking the scene by storm. Have you heard of him, Trav?
Did you say Dink or
Donk? No, this
Donk?
guy Donk. He plays for Spirit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You should check him out. Yeah, I think he
That's
might be
wild.
like a good player or something.
Might have
Maybe
seen him
one
on a
day he'll
video
make
one
it.
time. I don't know.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Was he the one who was yelling a bit?
Just a tad. Might have been Cadian, I don't know. Either way. 9-7. Must-win round for sAw. Must-win. Lose this. Double digits for their opponents. Another eco round for the Portuguese squad. At that point, it's 11-7. And they're 2 rounds away from losing the map. Things have gotten out of control here.
We'll stop trolling because this is a genuinely important round. This game's got kind of out of control for sAw. It was, am I not mistaken in saying, was 7-2? It was, right?
It was 5-0. Not sure
Definitely
about
was
7-2.
5-0, yeah.
Yeah.
So this has completely gotten out of their control. Similar setup
7-2,
outside
Trav.
A.
You're correct.
Nice. My brain is not... I'm not losing any of my faculties yet. Good to know.
On point. Hopefully sAw going to be on points as well. What's the play going to be from Rush B? Looks like a bit of a diversion over towards A. They will get the attention of a couple players, but the main hit's going to come through on the opposite side of the map, but sAw still standing tall.
Good start from U-Jerks and Story. 2 of the most important faces for this team. Executor, okay, this might be a freebie. You can now at least relay the information over, and he will definitely get this kill, because you can make your way down those stairs silently. He's looking for a second player before he goes for that first aggressor in Arasdoche. But of course, are they going to... Yes, that's perfectly done. Unfortunately, U-Jerks is still peeking. There is still a glimmer of hope. Is there? No, there's not. There's 5 seconds on the clock. They couldn't get to the site with the bomb quick enough. So sAw are actually going to take this round.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty clean in the beginning, able to find that opening pick through Story, and then Ujux gets a frag as well, gets a bit sketchy at one point, but as you say, Rushby just don't have enough time to really build on the kills that came through. So at least Saw draw back within one. Still a lot of work to do here. Win this round, then they break that T-side economy, but Rushby is still looking pretty comfortable as things stand coming into this next round.
Yeah, it's a good stabilizer for Saw, but Money's still not in the perfect spot yet. Ejux will put that smoke down. Haven't seen any of those HEs that break open those smokes on a timing yet for an AWP-like Story. I've seen him be quite successful with peaks like that in the past, and every AWP really in the scene going for those nade breakages. The Story's been relatively quiet in this game. A couple of his kills have been very impactful, but KD not as much just yet. Slower approach from Rushby in this one.
Yeah. Does look like eventually they're going to group themselves up and split in towards A. A couple players have been able to get up towards the double doors in middle, and then A main going to be the next point of contact. Texi does want to keep them interested on the opposite side of the map. The problem for him, though, is Roman's already been able to push through B main, so Saw kind of telegraphing the round here. They have a decent idea of what's going on. 3 players focusing in towards mid for the CT side. Story. He's lucky to be alive, and Arizdoche capitalizes on the info. Good trade as well. Has taken the heat off of A for a brief moment, though, and that's exactly what Rush B are looking to capitalize on. Executor, unfortunately, going to be the one to lose his life. Story arrives on the scene just in time, and Saw will mop up.
That's actually really important for SAw there. MUTiRiS has had a pretty quiet game. He's one of those IGLs that maybe you don't expect him to frag, but he very often does. And he very often does step up with some big rounds too. And this was a big one as well. That trade in mid was very nicely done. And now KIRO is trying his best to save his AWP as well. Because if he goes down here, there will be no AWP available in this following round. I'm not even sure there'll be much of a buy in this following round, because they're going to have 2 players with not much at all. I guess Executor and Executor can buy an AK, Texi can buy a Galil alongside Nota, Kinky can just sacrifice himself and play Tech 9, and they still have the AWP in play, so that's something they could go for.
Yeah, let's see what the option employed is going to be here for Rush B. It does look like Nosa's already spent his cash, so I think they've just had one last look at their cards on the felt there, and they're pushing their chips into the middle of the table, Trav. Because you lose this, 10-9, then you have to eco, becomes 11-9. Surely you back Saw to finish off the job from there, right?
You would think. And they have gone for that Galil on Nota. What else are they going to be buying up? Ah, of course. You can sell these days. Keeping it a ruse.
Just baiting us. Just, yeah. Keeping us guessing. It's fair enough. Having fun with it. Do you remember there used to be times when somebody would miss buy, and then we would just reset the round?
True, that had been done a few times.
Good few years ago.
Yeah.
People would blame the auto buy bug. You know, you'd auto buy, let's say, armor in your main rifle, and then it would give you a FAMAS instead, and then you would use it as like grounds for a reset. But I'm sure a couple times that was abused. Someone just misbought, you know, got bought ahead of the pack, and then...
I know, yeah. It's like, my brother, please just unbind auto buy. It's not difficult.
Alright, well, KIRO, the only player with a notable gun here in the round for Rush B, did have an opportunity to find an opening kill, a second chance gifted to him. Neither of them capitalized upon, though. Oh, MUTiRiS is in trouble, I think, Trav.
Oh, that's a brilliant timing peek from Arizdoche. He'll get all 3 there.
That's who it was, right. Got bamboozled by the minimap. Either way, he was in no trouble at all. It was Rush B who were in trouble. Call an ambulance, and not for Arizdoche.
Nice tag, at least with a picked up AWP there on Nota, but Saw know what's up now. And yeah, the minimap can be a little bit confusing sometimes, of course, with the numbers 11 and 12. Do you have a number 11 or 12 key on your keyboard? I don't think so. Bomb will go down, though, and that's actually not too bad for Rush B to get the bomb planted on a round such as this. Nota, the youngster, has a glimmer of hope in this one, but when I say a glimmer, it was literally a pixel of a glimmer because Roman was flanking him anyway, and the bomb will be defused with 3 players alive. So sAw will retake the lead. They've switched on after losing that 7-2 advantage. But of course the buy for Rush B will be good now.
Yeah, really good work coming through from sAw in these past few rounds here to regain the lead. Thankfully for Rush B, their round loss bonus coupled with that bomb plant is going to be enough to get everything they need here. Obviously, they did eco in the previous, but now they've got all the bells, all the whistles, every piece of utility. I guess just lacking the AWP is the one sort of notable piece there, as KIRO's had to settle for a Galil. Is that going to be problematic here, Trav?
Galil is probably one of the best guns in CS right now, to be honest, for the price. So, it'll be the end of the world, but, you know, if you dink someone, then that's going to be frustrating. Not get the kill. And there's that canal aggression that I've mentioned to you in the past, of course. This time it was actually through the B site rather than the edge of the A site. And MUTiRiS will take KIRO. That's another big frag to remove one early doors. Texi's very, very blind. I think Jerks actually was as well. But gets away with the kill, and Jerks will be happy with that.
Yeah.
Relaxing 5v3 now.
Only because of a very stressful start of the round. I mean,
exactly.
Showing signs of making a lot of moves at the start of the round, looking to just unsettle Rush B, right? Not giving them any chance to set up 5v3 off the bat now in such an important round for Rush B as well. Could have picked up the pieces that are scattered everywhere and try and come up with something.
Story just needs to be careful he doesn't get caught off for free. It's these sort of rounds that can get out of hand. I think Anubis, with it being a T-sided map, probably the most T-sided in the pool, it does often make you feel like sometimes, even in these disadvantageous situations, there is a chance, but the walkthrough mode and there's no chance on this occasion. You have to be locked in mentally in every single given situation on CT Anubis, and MUTiRiS, Story, and Jerks certainly were on this round. Executor looking to try and save, because if he saves, he's got a full belt of util as well. With that $950 in the bank, he can buy up a molly to have everything. But he will get caught in the side by MUTiRiS, so that is completely void, and he has nothing. Unfortunate timing on the switch away. And the only silver lining, which is a thin one, is that he didn't get taken down after time.
Yeah, your fantasy gone at the click of a button there, Trav. The end of his world, at least in that round. 9-11 now, as Rush B are going to have to settle for a half buy and play for overtime. Man, it's been a tale of two halves here, right? sAw started off really nicely, then Rush B coming all the way back, leading, was it, I want to say 9-7. It was indeed 9-7 at one point for Rush B, but sAw have since then come back with 4 in a row. And they are now in pole position, Trav. That's everybody's favorite position.
Indeed. It's been hard to tell which team actually has been in pole position in this game, because from 7-2 to 9-7 and now back to 11-9, it's been a streaky one.
Yeah. Hopefully a reflection of what to expect in the next F1 season. Hard to tell who's going to be in pole, because that would shake things up a bit.
It would, wouldn't it? I was about to say, talking of streaky ones, there's a certain man on a long streak right now, which is a bit frustrating.
True, true. Nothing streaky about his campaign lately. Right, pistols and one Galil in toward the A site. Perfect counter utility at the right time as well for MUTiRiS. It's actually the fire that takes down Kinky in the end, and he doesn't need to peek any further. Just hold an off angle, wait for your teammates. Actually, it is Arizdoche to take that frag. We've been bamboozled again between those two. Yeah.
But Story,
you nailed it though, mate. With the counter utility here from sAw that just completely, you know, maintained full control for them as Rush B were looking to try and get things going over on that A bomb site. Mollies and flashes rolled in. Then sAw were able to take up positions on the bomb site, and all the utility the T side had just thrown was completely null and void.
Yeah, it's been relaxed now for sAw. I mentioned, of course, that being so T-sided this map sometimes, a team that if you are well versed on it, you can just basically abuse the map and get unlikely victories if you have a slight lead, even if you are the significant underdog. But sAw, great on both sides. Apart from that little blip of that 13-1 in the RMR against 9 Pandas, they won about 6 in a row, I think. So It's, as I said, always like to adopt the new maps, do sAw. This is no exception. And they're just one away from taking map 1. Map 2, of course, is Vertigo. And that is sAw's pick. So this might be a must pull back to overtime for Rush B.
Yeah, can they make it happen? 3 rounds in a row is what's required of them. You had to get this across the line into OT and then from there try and seal their map pick. Remember, this is Rush B's pick. From here we go to sAw. Their pick of Vertigo. Kinky is going to be able to get ahead of the Incendiary. Yeah, Ujix was expecting that. A nice bit of initiative coming through right now. Fearless counter-strike out of Kinky again, taking another gunfight from the Flames. Oh man, they're making moves right now to the B side, but Roman looking to stop them cold in their tracks. He's found 2 kills, eventually cut down, but it's a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, there's a big miss from Story. Thankfully, he had Roman in support, and he gets 2 to recover the situation. Now, what do you do here if you're Rush B? You've got 35 seconds for a plant. The bomb is still outside B, but you are shifting back toward A. What is the clock going to feel like once you eventually get to the opposite site? Got Aras in that position. Once again, waiting to see what he can do. Main port of defense on this A site, and it's like we're going to be going through mid to this A site, so it might mean it's a little bit more difficult for Aras. Is he aware of that possibility? And that might be all he needs to do. Wow. Great kill on Nota, falls back as well. Doesn't deny the plant, but it gives him a good chance in this 3 versus 2 now.
Yeah, lovely little play coming through from him to force the frag and then play the safe game there afterwards. Not undo all the hard work from getting that kill. But speaking about hard work, KIRO's been heavy lifting throughout the map so far. Won't be doing any lifting further in this round. He gets shut down. It's on Executor. 1 versus 2 in the post plant. Has to find both these kills to keep his team alive. They now know exactly where he is as they close the gap. They won't be able to get the kills. Executor stands tall and Rush B keep themselves alive.
Wow, that was a really nicely played clutch by Executor, to be honest. I thought, as you say, I thought Story's frag on KIRO, the AWP v AWP battle, Story just outreacting KIRO there would have been enough, but Executor repositions beautifully. They still think he's behind the pillar briefly, steps a few feet to the left, and Story had to go for the sidearm, which made that kill a little bit easier for Executor. 2 quick fire headshots. It keeps them alive in this map. And we get into an interesting situation now where if Rush B somehow make this round work, what's sAw's money going to be like for round 24?
Yeah, this is for overtime. This round right here, you win this, then you pretty much seal OT at that point. Should be a formality in the round afterwards. Not like they've got everything they could have hoped for though. Trav still 2 Galils and a Mac 10 in the mix as well to try and get by in this next round.
Let's see. Kinky won't be too upset to be on the Mac 10. He's happy to sacrifice himself on lower weaponry for a better cause. sAw can just relax in this moment of the round at least. They know that Rush B have been quite slow on their T-side approaches. Bomb recovered, and once again, the sweet rice is going to have to be to continue to be tasty from the back of A.
Yeah. Another split in towards A on the cards here for Rush B. They've done a good job of that so far, and they've shown really good sets of utility to execute into that A bomb site as well. Right now, sAw have the lion's share of their players over towards B. Looks like they're starting to get an explanation as to what's going on here. Kinky gets burnt out. That's a really good opening kill, and that's going to prompt the execute now in towards A. Aras has got some support from Story, rather, who's going to look to try and take the bait away from his teammates on the site itself, and there we go. They thrive on the defense, getting all the kills, and sAw get across the line to win the map.
That was a beautiful hold to end it off. It got a bit squeaky for sAw when they were in the lead 7-2. You thought for a second, surely this is going to be easy and Rush B will have no sort of fallback or defense whatsoever. But they pulled it back to a 9-7 lead, and we thought, okay, hang on a second, we could have an upset on our hands. But sAw stepped up their game, put the foot on the pedal, and pushed forward.